saddling horses in the dark, chasing grizzly tracks across family ground, and then a flat tire at midnight that forces you home. This isn't just a ride, it's the shadow that stalks every homestead dream. It's the unseen hardships testing you to see what you're made of. 3 days, 2 worlds. Let's explore this family homestead together, where family roots have run deep, but you could become its future. Then we'll travel to the wild, ragged edge of Montana, where the bears force you to face your inner fear and your own doubts. I'm not sure really what good the bear spray would be. Can I build my personal stock of tough when the plan breaks? Let's find out together. Sun's just cracking over there. I'm headed to Conrad, Montana, to a homestead up there. So I'm taking 2 horses with me. We're gonna ride around and try to find a grizzly bear up there. There were so many issues with homesteading, so many difficulties that they had to deal with. Big old growling obstacles. And then of course you have the actual physical grizzly bear. Oh buddy, oh bud. Scared of the camera? You're not scared of the camera. And you might ask, well, why don't you turn the light on so we can see the horses? But horses see so well in the dark, it's kind of hard on their eyes to flash a light in their face because they can then not see as much. So I feel bad about doing it. I'm at my home base for this trip. This is one that I'm really looking forward to because this is an old original homestead on 160 acres near Conrad, Montana. I mean, we're out in the middle of nothing. There's just land around us. And you can imagine when they came here during the early homestead years of 1910, somewhere around there. This is kind of reminds me of where I was born. I was born on one of these little homesteads up here in this same area. The one thing that you have to deal with on a homestead, and most people did not last in homesteading because of the grizzly bears in your closet. Meaning the grizzly bears are weather and crop failure, the ability to actually build something, whether you had water, all these issues caused people to go out of business in homesteading and lose their property. Now on this place, you have the added bonus of dealing with the actual grizzly bears, which roam just a couple miles away. This old barn is really cool. That looks like just like a, I don't know, it's got something on the roof there, so it might be a old chicken house or something. Right here, these are grain bins. So this is where when you cut your grain off of the farm ground, you would store it in the grain bin and then sell it. You'd haul it to town when you wanted to sell it. Interesting part about this building right here is I don't see a door. Maybe it's an old original grain bin. So before they had that kind of grain bin, they would build these old buildings like this, and then they would dump the grain in the top. You'd run your horses up. Oh no, it's got doors on it. Oh yeah, it is a grain bin. Look at that. So, and they're actually using it. This is wheat. Even in the old days, they would run the wagons up to these buildings like this and put the grain inside it, haul it to town when you needed the money, which was typically always. This farm is for sale by Clearwater Properties. I am so excited to be able to show this to you and do my little adventure from here because of all the nostalgia and just really amazing stuff that we get to do, or that this reminds me of. Clearwater Properties sells properties like that are remote. They're hunting properties, they're recreational properties, but this is a true homestead. So this is somewhere that the ultimate in self-sustaining was a homestead. Homesteaders that made it. They grew their own crops, they raised their own livestock, and they had to survive out here in the harshest of weather. Gotta figure out how to get in here, so shove this door out if I can. There we go. the barns usually had the middle part, which I think is stalls, and then you had side compartments like this. You could store your wagons in here. Yeah, right here. Look at that old wood floor there. So here's the stalls for the horses to be in. You got stalls along both sides. You must have a loft up above this. Typically, you'd have a loft, and then what you do is you put the hay up there. You put the hay into the loft, and then you could feed down through here. So this is a trap door. You'd pull this up, and then you could drop the hay into the bunk from the trap door. This must be the tack room. Yep. Here's the tack room for saddles. You just have a couple of bales of straw in front of it, but this is where, this is the loft up here. So this is where they would have put the hay, is up in the loft. So that's a pulley. So there's the door. There's the door you would have put hay through, is over here. So you'd open this door actually. This is a really big door. This comes out, and then they would pull up to it with a load of hay, a wagon load of hay, and lift the hay up and put it through here. And then you had to stack it in here. And then when you wanted to feed the hay, then you would come over to any of the trap doors, which are over here in the floor. They're all covered up, but there'd be a trap door over here in the floor that you could throw the hay down. So here is, I'm sure probably not the original house, but it's not new. I mean, that door is, so this is a sunroom here. That is so cool. A lot of times they would just replace the house. They'd set the house up. I mean, you can see this is sitting back here, and there is the new house right there. Well, new house, that was probably built in the 1950 or 60. But they would take these old houses and move them off. So this is just behind it. But man, what a place, huh? I mean, that's the original. I mean, these are like the original single pane windows with double panes. Basically, a single pane window, they just put two of them in there to try to insulate it. Man alive, that is so cool. Covered porch and the original front door. I want to make sure this is strong enough and don't knock me over. Wow, yeah, it's all lath and plaster in there. Wow. Those doors are awesome. Wish you could take that and restore it, because it's got some amazing qualities to it. The walls are all planks in here. That's all shiplap. That is pretty awesome. It's got like a built-in cabinet right there. If you see that, with a chimney above it. I mean, it would have taken a lot of work to restore this, but I'm sure it wasn't built to the same quality. But that's an amazing front covered porch, like completely closed in porch. I think this house is supposed to be empty, so we'll see. We'll go in and see. I don't hear anybody. It's locked though, so I don't have a key. This was probably an outhouse. You see the couple stones in there. When the old house was here, it probably didn't have any plumbing in it, so they probably just had an outhouse out here. There's the outhouse. got the seat cover, the wooden seat cover that's carved to fit right in there. There's another little shed here. Very well built, actually. It's on concrete foundation. I don't know if it always was, but see there, nice concrete floor. Looks like this might have been like a chicken house or something at one time. You got these things over the doorway. Yep, I think it was a chicken coop. Look at this. They even got all the little hen houses built into the wall. What a great little spot, man. Got ways to collect your eggs. This is a fantastic little chicken coop. Should have brought some chickens, I guess. Looks like there's also a couple of Massey Ferguson 860 combines sitting here. The family that homesteaded this 150 years ago still has it in the family right now. But for somebody who wants to start homesteading, living a self-sustaining life, self-sustainable life, this is a treasure trove, man. With that incredible barn and those outbuildings and the chicken coop. Some of the first things and only things that homesteaders built was obviously some buildings to house their livestock. So you had a barn for the horses and cows, maybe some milk cows, things like that. And then you would make a different building for a chicken coop, sometimes another one for like raising a few pigs. You had some pasture land for like this piece right here for cattle. You had farm ground right here. And then you built the shop because farming requires working on things. And so this would have been the shop right here. It's got everything that a self-sustaining place would need. There's a chimney in the back. They always used to put chimneys in everything so you could burn coal, or a lot of times they burned coal back then. Because, I mean, where are you going to get the lumber around here? The mountains are way over there, about 15, 20 miles. So it looks like somebody took the gates when they left, so I'm gonna have to put some rope across the corral to keep the horses in. How was the trip? Pretty good? Pretty good? Now, I definitely do not want Calibar to get loose around here because that's all open. So he can go for 20 dang miles if he gets loose. Right, Calibar? Yeah, you gotta behave yourself, huh? You gotta stick around. How's that, huh? Well, we're on the back corner of this 160 acre parcel. Now, it's 160 acres. That's what really the main amount of land was in the first Homestead Act. Now, they changed it out west a little bit later to 320 or 640, because this land is just a lot drier than back east, and so you couldn't really make, it was thought that you couldn't make a living, and some of it you can't on just 160 acres. Now, I think that's probably not quite true, because if you sold your products yourself and you raised your own pigs, your own cows, your own hay, you know, a few crops, I think you could probably do a lot better. This is actually pretty good land. Conrad Choteau area are pretty good dirt. So I don't know if you can see the homestead over there. This is the back corner, is on this grassy part here. Looks like this used to be farm ground right here, and then they seeded it to grass, so it's got it has some grass kind of coming up in it. So when somebody first came to this country and they wanted to homestead, they would go into the town of Conrad and they'd go to the land office and they would ask for the land agent, and the land agent then would take them out and show them properties that they could homestead. You had to take them around in a wagon, so it took for forever. I mean, it's 25 miles from town right here. So just saw a couple of antelope bucks. What they did on this place is they had this part as the farm ground, and then they left that part over there across the fence, because that's part of this place too. They left it in grass, probably so they could graze their animals over there. So then once you picked out a spot that you liked, you would tell the landman, the land officer, that this is the place you wanted, and then you would go back to town and sign the paper. Once they signed the patent, they didn't actually become the rightful owner of the property. They had to do what's called prove up on that property. So that would be that you had to live there for 2 years. Don't quote me on this because I might be a little off. You had to actually make your living off of that property though. You couldn't just live there and make your living somewhere else. I'm not sure exactly how much of your living had to come from it, but you had to be working the land. So once you did that for 2 years, then you would go back in. Once you'd proved up on it, you could go back in and then sign the final papers. Then that would make you the owner. And that's how you homesteaded a property in Montana or anywhere across the West. You had something interesting over here. You have something that a lot of other homestead properties didn't have to deal with, and that was the grizzly bears. So even though this is prairie, and you might think that it's weird to have grizzly bears on the prairie, they have become prolific. And actually they were on the prairie when Lewis and Clark came over through this whole country. In fact, when they saw the first one, I believe they called it a white bear, the Indians had warned them about how ferocious these guys were. And when they saw their first one, they actually shot it, and it died right away, running away from them. And they were like, I don't know if we believe this, until they met the second one. And the second one almost got one of them. He shot it, and then it charged them, and they shot it like several more times, and it died like right at his feet. So grizzly bears are something you just don't want to mess with. They're better when you hunt them. We don't hunt them in the West. We don't hunt them anywhere in the lower 48. You can hunt them in Alaska. One of the major considerations that you had with homesteading was water, especially in these areas. Now, I'm not really sure exactly what they did for the original house, but when they put most of these houses in, they put in cisterns. So you have to actually go to town and get your water. And when you get your water, you get it in a great big plastic tank, and then you bring it over and you dump it in that gray silver thing right there. It's called a cistern. It's a great big underground tank, and that's what your house goes on instead of a well. Now, looks like these guys put in a well right there. So if that's drinking water, if that's good drinking water, then that would be fantastic, because that means that this place would then not have to haul water anymore. I'm gonna put some water in here for the horses. So when my dad was a kid, they would go to town and fill their truck, and it costs $1 per 1,000 gallons of water. Now, I really don't have any idea what it costs now, but I'm guessing it's quite a bit more than that. You done? Did you get enough water? Did you? I think he's got enough. He drank 3 times, so you can see even here, you got some native cactus. Yeah, don't stick your nose in that. Look at that, spiny stuff. Whoa. So that's prickly pear. Now you don't have a lot of it around here because most of what they, a lot of this ground is farm ground, but anywhere that's obviously not been plowed up will still have some of that native cactus on the land. It's coming up here to take a look at this building. I think this is just a place for stalls. Yeah, it's just a building so the horses and cows could get out of the wind in the wintertime. I'm guessing. Well, maybe that is a pass-through for hogs. So I'm wondering, I'll bet you this had something attached to the front of it. So a pen, yeah, see there? That was a gate. You got 2 gate posts. So there was probably a pen right here for the hogs so that they could get back in there and come out here. I'm guessing, but it looks like at some point it was probably used for that. It looks like it was built for that. So interesting. Back in that day, most people had, they had a milk cow, they had a couple of beef cows, they had, their work horses, obviously they had some chickens, and they sold their stuff in town. What they didn't use, they sold in town to the people that lived in town. I'm gonna throw some hay to these horses and then I'm gonna go in the house and go to bed. Hey buddy, how's it going, huh? Both of you in there? Yep. Good morning. I'll tell you, these little air mattresses that you use in a tent, apparently there's like a perfect amount of air, because this was perfect. Now I'm not sure. Oh, probably has more to do with the carpet, actually. I'm laying on carpet in the living room here in this farmhouse. And that actually helps a lot to add that little bit of cushion underneath it. So let's get up and go saddle the horses. Well, this place could use some updating, but it's an old farmhouse and everything is functional. I mean, here's the bathroom. Up until now, they've had to haul water to this thing. So this is how my parents grew up, which means you worry about every time you turn the water on, because you're using water that you then have to haul with a truck. But this place, as I showed you outside, has a new well. So it's about to be connected to the well. And when it gets connected to the well, then you won't actually need to worry about water near as much. So I'm sorry I didn't give you a tour last night or yesterday. When you come in the front door right here, you got this little foyer right here in this area with a closet. And then you come in here, this is the kitchen. Obviously there should be a stove right there, but there isn't. Probably enough room here for an island too. There's a big area in this kitchen. It's a really good sized dining room, like really big. For one of these old houses like this is a big area. With a nice big window that looks out over the yard. You can go back out right there. That goes out to the backyard where I was watering the horses. In here, oh, this is the laundry room. Wow, this is a huge laundry room. This is huge for a laundry room. Look at this. You come in here, this is your living room. Nice big living room too. With a big, huge window that looks out over the yard there. It's got a wood stove right here for heating. So if you come in the back door, you've got this. This is a completely unfinished basement down here, but it's actually pretty good size. So this is a majestic, one of those majestic stoves. So this is the old original wood stove. So this is a warming, this is a place where you put your stuff for warming them, because all this down here was hot with coal. You'd put your coal in here, put your coal in there, and with this handle, you can dump it out. Once it's burned, you dump it down to the bottom. And this is how you adjust your heat. And then your coal ashes drop into there when you turn this crank. And then your oven is right there. And the heat of the coal underneath there is what heats this oven. And then you have your burners here, so you go like this and you'd put some of the coals up here to heat this part. This is like, these things are so cool, these majestic coes. I mean, they probably weigh 1,000 pounds. No, there's a washing machine down here too. An old majestic, no, Maytag. This is an old Maytag washer. Look at that. Probably one of the very first electric washer machines. Out here, there isn't a whole lot of light from anywhere else. You can see it's very, very dark. This is way out here. Very remote property, which is pretty much what most of Clearwater property stuff is very remote stuff. Now, I don't see a grizzly bear this morning, but I do see a cat, which keeps meowing at me like I'm supposed to do something, but I don't know what. It's got food and water. I saw that already. Huh. It wasn't that hard. One of the real difficulties with having two black horses is that you can't see them. And you can't see them for the camera or for what I'm doing. Oh, bud. Oh, bud. Oh, bud. Well, got them all saddled up. Got the pack horse over here, so we'll head for the mountains. Now, normally, in the old days, that would have had a ramp going up to it, so you could walk the horses right in there and out of there. But right now, that ramp is gone. There you go. Now stay over here. Stay over here. There you go, buddy. Him and the pack horse. So today I'm wearing a little different clothes than I usually wear because it's a little chilly out here. And I don't plan on doing any hiking at all. So because of that, I wore my chaps and my boots and my spurs. So one of the things that Calibar has been doing when we're up here, when I'm up here in the mountains, is he knows that when I am up in the mountains, usually I'm wearing hiking boots and not spurs. So then he tries to not follow my directions as well as he should. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to wear spurs today so that when I'm wearing my hiking boots, sometimes he won't know. So I'm hoping. I don't know, he's pretty smart. Here's some bear crap right there. We've literally gone, I can see the pickup. So this area I call the grizzly bear capital of the world. That's what I call this. It's a, oh, he can smell something. He's smelling something. He's still smelling it. So there's so many bears up here that there probably was a bear here at some point today or this morning or something, and that's what he's smelling. You can see how they can hide in that stuff. You can't see through it at all. Keep your eyes open. Over here, I'll show you this scat right here. That is bear scat right there. You can see how you can't even see. You would never see them in this. You'd never see them even if they were right here, because this is so tight. He's smelling the ground. See? He's smelling the ground. He smells something on the ground. And see, this is what they're after. They're after these choke cherries right here. And there's another pile of scat right there. Bear scat. There's another pile of scat right there. There's another one right there. I'm talking about the dark ones with the seeds in them right there. That one. I better ride close to my saddle in case a bear just jumps out of here somewhere. There's another one. He's smelling that one. You see the claw marks in the dirt? That's a bear track. There's another one right there. You got to keep in mind that bears don't really make much of a track because they're soft padded, but in this dirt right here, it's just a tiny bit loose on the top. So the claws of the bear, grizzly bear obviously, because black bears have their tracks up a little bit. Grizzly bears whack them into the dirt. So definitely a grizzly bear walking down this trail, and as they're walking, their claws kind of dig into that top layer and mark it. But the rest of the pad of their foot is all soft, so it doesn't really do much. There you can see his track right there. So I think this is a really good spot. We got a lot of ground right here that we can look at. Along the river, other side, all that stuff up there. So Calibar is trying to be a pill, but I'm gonna get off right here. here and we'll tie him up a little bit for a little bit. This is really helpful. That's really helpful, buddy. Get out of there. Goodness gracious. Not helping. Something gorgeous about the fall colors, isn't there? It is. The interesting part about this is, hopefully you can hear me over the wind. I mean, I saw way more tracks of grizzly bears than I saw anything else. Now this road is a road, but it's actually closed to motorized vehicles, so you have to hike or ride up here. There's a lot of grass up here, and normally I would just hobble Calibar right out in there and let him kind of roam around. The problem is he just ate a bunch of hay, so he's not hungry. And if I hobble him, he's just gonna start hopping down the trail and trying to get back to the pickup. And I do not want to be left up here on foot in this country alone with all the bears that are up here. Goodness. Way better on a horse, Calibar. Way better on a horse. So you stay here with me, okay? You stay here with me. So I'm just gonna leave them tied up. They're not hungry. They don't need to eat. So he's thinking I'm being really mean. Now I've said there's certain places that I wouldn't camp overnight in a tent by myself. And this is one of them. There is just so many bears around here, you're just asking for trouble. I might do it if I had a good dog, a good cow dog with me that could keep the bear, you know, occupied, make sure that I knew it was there in the middle of the night. I'm gonna have some jerky for lunch. I'm gonna go down and get some water from the creek so I can make some coffee. I have bear spray with me, but this wind is blowing 25 miles an hour, which means I might be talking to nobody because you might not be able to hear me with the wind noise. But if you can hear me, with the wind blowing this hard and you spray dead into the wind or crosswind, there's no way it's reaching the bear. So in that case, it's one of those things where you just kind of like, I'm not sure really what good the bear spray would be in this case where the wind is blowing like this. I got to go down through this really thick stuff to go get the water. Got my gun. You wonder why I worry. On this trail is bear crap. So even in Glacier Park, there isn't anywhere near the amount of bears that there is right here. You can see all the berries that they still have yet to eat. You can see all the berries, and they've been trampled, and there's been bears in here everywhere. All over this stuff. Hey boys, how's it going up here, huh? Did you guys see a bear while I was gone? Did you? He never tells me. Starting to rain a little bit. You can see the rain coming from back there. It's coming right out to the front of these rocky cliffs. And then it seems to be kind of dying, but now that I said that, you know, the next one will come over and just drench me, I guess. block the wind with another rock here, so it doesn't blow it out every time. Now let's see if I can get that. Yep. So when I left, I grabbed 2 fuel cans, those little cans down there, and I just didn't check whether they were full or not. So both of them are almost empty. So the one ran out, and the other one is getting lower and lower and lower, and I still don't have this boiling yet. So it's just about to run out. I'm just hoping I have enough to make coffee. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. It's not boiling yet, dang it. Now, right there, so. Well, that's gonna be strong coffee. You know, I was actually a little worried there for a minute that I wasn't gonna get any coffee. But now even if it quits, I think it's boiled long enough. I think we're good. So I put a little creamer in it that I had, powdered creamer, because it's really hard to pack liquid creamer. That's going to be excellent. Look how much that's boiling it in there. It's going to be good and mixed. It's going to be smooth. Cold water to knock down the grounds to the bottom. Just don't want to do too much, so you cool it off, because I don't want it cooled off. Wind's trying to blow it all over the place, but so there's some black things in there. Those are coming off the bottom of the pot, I'm sure. I'm sure they are. That is an excellent cup of coffee. I mean, come on now. Oh man, that is so good. That is good. So, just a guess, this isn't going to take me as long going this way. How fast these dang horses are moving. They're like, woo, let's go. They were going really slow towards that way, but now this way they're going really fast. Just remember, just because we didn't see one doesn't mean they're not here. They're here everywhere. Just, you know, if you stumbled around for a few days, if you stayed here for a day or two, you'd see one. Alright, I know you guys are going to think I'm weird, but I looked in my cooler and decided on eating hot dogs. I know, my wife would be appalled too, but I'm a fan. So, you know, I do eat fancy stuff occasionally. One time I even went into the mountains with $100 steak. You can see that video on my channel. I don't ever boil hot dogs. I'm just gonna drop them in there. I just threw them in there dry. So what happens is they just start to burn on one side and not really cook, right? What we need is a little grease, right? A little moisture. So we're just gonna cut off the tips of these. Dump that in there. Yep, that's working already. That's the ticket. That's gonna be the bacon makes everything better, right? Right? I think the bacon, so it can't be bad, right? I mean, how can you go bad with hot dogs and bacon? I mean, we'll give this a try. It's hard. It was too hot. I like it. I like the hot dog. It doesn't actually taste that much like bacon, so this bacon must be like not really seasoned. But you guys let me know what you think. If this is something that you have ever tried, have you guys tried this? Or you think this is ridiculous? Let me know. That was good, but wasn't quite enough. So I think I'm just gonna dump in a couple of eggs and fry them up. Just gonna scramble them up. Oh yeah, yep. We're back at the homestead here. Everything looks like it's still okay. Sun's going down, and I have a flipping tire that is going flat. So I think that's it for this video. I'm gonna have to try to change my tire out before it goes all the way flat. You see it? Yeah, I can hear it. Right here. Right there. The tire is coming apart. Fantastic. I'm gonna have to take that off and replace it with something else and then drive home tonight so that I can get a new tire tomorrow because I don't have any here in town. Thanks for watching. That's it for this video. The grizzly bears are right around here. You see them all the time, and except for when you actually go out and look. In fact, there was a report that I was just sent that there's 2 bears right in the town of Choteau right now, a boar and a sow. So but I didn't find any. Trying to do this in the dark is definitely more difficult. All right, we got her started going up. Now we got to take this loose. It slipped off of the damn axle somehow. I'm not even sure how it did it. Okay, let me see if that's actually working, because I'm gonna have it fall off again. Okay, looks like it might be. Maybe. The real danger is if it slips off the block when the tire is off, then you're screwed, because it falls all the way down to the ground. Moment of truth. You got to get this one ready and then pull this one off and quickly put this one on before something major breaks. stupid sucker. There we go. There we go. Whew. That was scary. That was scary. Couldn't find the holes in the dark. Now we're pretty safe because if it falls off, it should fall on this. Should fall on this tire. And we'll head for home, I guess. Make sure, see if we can make it before we blow another tire, because then we were not going to have a spare. Oh, it's got 65, so it's good. Well, we're on the road. Hopefully I got everything right. I got that spare on there. We'll have to stop in Choteau and get some fuel. And then we'll head all the way home, which is quite a ways. Hope everything's okay.